Hello. Wasabi. I kind of had to park the camera on top of someone's gravestone. I hope they don't mind. I've been out shooting since 6 hours now. It was sunny, now it's crappy. Mother Nature never wants to cooperate. That's typically the case. Exposure, isolation, and illumination. I mean, when you're out shooting, now that you know your camera, or presumably that you know your camera, what do you do after exposure to make great shots instead of snapshots? What's the reason that you actually have a DSLR or a nice camera that you can stick in manual or aperture priority if you're just going to have an expensive DSLR or mirrorless and take snapshots? What is there outside of exposure that, separates out, yourself from exposing, a correctly focused shot from, the works of Avedon or somebody else? Isolation, illumination, and the mind's eye. Not these two eyes. The Indians and the Greeks were famous for understanding this. It's the metaphysical principle that's trans-empirical that Westerners really don't understand. We think we do. It's like, well, we have to come up with stuff. Why does somebody hire somebody, for example, based upon nothing? It's because they produce something that has absolutely no weight and no empirical value. The gravekeepers passing by. Something that has no weight and no empirical or existential existence. Once you've got all the damn gear, what about the mind's eye? What is your ability to see what is not there? I've been packing this around all day today, even though the sun was out earlier. Actually, the first 2 hours or so, I was taking shots with the 500 millimeter f8 mirrorless Nikkor with Metabones adapter on the Fuji XT1. I was actually taking some boring bird shots. Half of them were Canadian honkers, which of course are not very exciting birds to take shots of, but it's just windy. It's incredibly windy here. There's more blowing going on here than a hooker convention at a $5 BJ contest. But recognizing what it is in the shot, what is in your mind's eye that you need to understand illumination and isolation. I knew immediately when I was taking a few shots that I needed to traipse all the way around to the other side of the lake because the sun was coming this way. With my back to the sun, I'm not going to get that catadioptric beautiful bokeh that I was looking for. So I actually had to shoot incidentally into the sun on the other side of the lake, isolate out the boring birds, the Canadian honkers, which of course are not very interesting subjects to take pictures of because they're dirty, nasty birds, obviously so. Or at least most people think that they are. They're kind of like, the rats of the bird world. You got blackbirds and you got Canadian geese, or Canadian honkers as I call them. But being able to see, not with your eyes, but what is here, the mind's eye. Why does Walt Disney hire some dude that has nothing that they can see or weigh? Because he has an imagination to come up with neat stuff, and that's what this guy commands, for example, a $2 million a year salary. There's nothing that he can see. It's because he produces something between his two ears and behind these two eyes that cannot be weighed, cannot be measured. The mind's eye is the most important thing in photography. Okay, you've now conquered all the buttons and you've sniffed all the buttons on your damn camera. You've conquered exposure, you know what depth of field is. What about being able to project and knowing, like right now when it's cloudy? Once it got cloudy about 3 hours ago, I was walking around with this Speedlight wireless trigger on the Fuji and a pair of pocket lizards, giving definition and illumination to what I cannot see with my two eyes, but which I know I can manifest. It sounds metaphysical, and that's exactly what it is. Light is not tangible. The most important thing in photography is not, the gear, the lens, but it's this crap behind my eyeballs, between my two ears. Can you manifest in your brain how to see something that is not there and then make it manifest. It's actually so windy, it's about to blow my camera over. I mean, it's that damn windy. It's a really warm day today, which is kind of odd for the middle of February. This is technically the South. But isolation, illumination, translating what is in your mind's eye to manifest it, not just with obvious exposure, understanding that you need to isolate something to give it definition, you know, isolate it out from its background. I mean, that's kind of 101, obviously. What about other things that you can do? Like me traipsing to the other side of the lake to capture that incident light so I get the catadioptric bokeh. I couldn't see it on this side of the lake. I had to trek all the way to the other side of the lake to get that. That's what's right here, not here with my eyes. I almost had to reach out and grab my camera. It's so damn windy out. I mean, it's just damn windy. But also the same thing with the speed light. You're using the proper instant illumination to give, like a lot of these gravestones, some of the old ones that are kind of neat, that some of them have pentagrams on them, but they're covered with moss. But it's white on white on white, except for the dark moss. How do I give that definition? I have to be able to see what's in my mind's eye rather than my two damn eyeballs that I was born with. You know, this is the third eye that the ancient Greeks and the Indians knew so much about. If you think that photography is purely science, then you ought to get a damn point-and-shoot camera and, you know, with a really good puss mode, and go out and take snapshots. It is about manifesting not what you see here, but what you can manifest here. And when you can do that, then that's when the crap really jumps out from your brain to the back of the camera, and people go, damn, I could never take a shot like that. Yes, because you're using these two instead of this eye right here. You think that sounds abstruse? You think that's arcana? You think that's metaphysical? Well, really, it is. I'm sorry to tell you this, but as the ancient Greeks said, most of the world is not anything that you can examine objectively. It is purely subjective. It is never an object for witnessing. It is never something that is tangible. You know? The biggest things on earth, the most amazing things done on earth, started out from something that was nothing. And I'm not saying nihil ex nihilo, nothing from nothing. I'm actually talking about thoughts, ideas, the third eye here, making manifest what doesn't exist. Where do you think invention comes from? You know? I mean, some of the ancient Greeks thought that a muse came down and put inventions in your brain, so it came from someone else. But I mean, ultimately, something is manifest out of nothing. And by nothing, I don't mean nothing. I mean no thing, no phenomena. And the same is true of photography. Anyway, thanks for watching. And thank God the wind didn't blow my damn camera over, because of God, it is windy. Oi!